Assalamualaikum and a very good day. My name is Muhammad Fakhruddin bin Muhammad Nordin. My metric ID is 2017-5225-41. My study is about a study on performance of maintenance management of low-cost public housing in Malaysia. This study consists of several chapters including background of study, research problem, aim of research, objective and research questions, scope and limitations, significance of research, research methodology, data analysis and findings, and lastly, the conclusion and recommendation. The People Housing Program, or known as PPR, a government organization under the Ministry of Housing and Local Government, is responsible for managing low-cost public housing in Malaysia. The PPR was started back then in 2002 with the intention of giving low-income households access to affordable housing. According to Al-Zahari 2019, the PPR housing units are built by the government and are sold to eligible low-income families at a subsidized rate. These units are typically located in high-density urban areas. Since buildings are prone to a variety of building services issues, despite the fact that multiple standards, methods, and guidelines have been developed to maintain a building in an effective manner. A study conducted by WALT 2023, maintenance management is an essential aspect of any organization as it helps to ensure the smooth functioning of the organization's assets and facilities. However, despite its importance, maintenance management is often plagued by several issues that can have a significant impact on the organization's performance. According to Garrison et al. 2015, with maintenance accounting for an increasing amount of the building contract, the convenience, comfort, and cost of the use of the building are increasingly dependent on planned and appropriate service. To conduct this study, the research problem must be constructed. A study conducted by Wahi et al. 2018, he found in the observation point that the failure of housing project may be attributed due to lack of knowledge to determine the residential satisfaction. He also furthered the study that some of the issues have been recognized throughout the Kuala Lumpur Structure Plan 2020 that includes low space standards, high maintenance costs, poor quality of construction and material, as well as lack of provision in community facilities. This supported by Ain et al. 2021 mentioned where the study towards PPR residents facing congestion problem in family members due to limited space provided. After the research problem is recognized, the setup of aim of research is developed. The aim of this study is to enhance the practice of maintenance management in order to maximize satisfaction level among low-cost public housing residents. This followed by the three objectives that has been outlined in this study in regards of performance maintenance management in low-cost public housing. Firstly, the main objective of this study is to identify the maintenance issues faced by residents in PPR building. Secondly, to determine the residents' satisfaction towards the maintenance management in low-cost public housing. Lastly, the objective of this study is to recommend improvement for the maintenance management of low-cost public housing. Then, the researcher construct a research question as followed. The first question is, what are the maintenance issues faced by the resident of low-cost public housing? Secondly, what are resident perceptions towards the performance of maintenance management in maintaining low-cost public housing? And lastly, the research question is regard to what is level of management performance in maintenance of low-cost public housing. In this study, the scope and limitation will subject to evaluate in certain aspects including residents' perceptions, resident satisfaction, and to investigate the understanding of residents towards maintenance management as a whole. Thus, the study will bring a significance that will broaden the capacity of maintenance management, especially in facilities management, to understand more current situation happens in maintaining low-cost public housing. Secondly, the study should improvise the current practice in maintenance management, especially low-cost public housing. This research also highlights the struggle faced by the local authority and be as a guideline to develop new policy with a comprehensive and holistic. Fourthly, this research will be used as a reference and guideline in maintenance management and in facility management, as well to explore more about housing and building management. Lastly, this research is hoped to put maximum possibilities towards maintenance management and their performances in housing program, especially low-cost public housing in Malaysia. Research methodology. The study consists of 4 stages in research methodology, including the first stage of literature review, stage 2 with gathering the data, stage 3 with data analysis, and stage 4 is writing the reports. Discuss the data analysis and finding. The descriptive statistics are used to explore the data collected and to summarize and describe those data through the table consists of the frequency, the percentage, mean, and standard deviation. Based on the results shown in section A, demographic, the highest gender set by the female with 63.3% with marriage status. The age that shown the highest percent are among 21 to 30 with the percentage of 43.1, years of living 1 to 5 years at 28.4%, degree education background with 36.7%, and lastly, the employment of full-time is the highest with 70.6%. The highest mean for maintenance issues in section B, that is maintenance issues faced by the residents, is the vandalism with the highest mean at 3.633. The residents feel that vandalism is the main issues in their respective residence. The study collected shows that 33% feel very critical with vandalism issues. Meanwhile, the lowest mean for this section is weak structure organization of management with the lowest mean 3.376. There are 38.5% feel critical towards structure of organization in management. Overall, in section B, the resident feel fair with mean at 3.506. Meanwhile, in section C, maintenance management performance levels, the highest mean for maintenance performance level among residents is satisfied with the repair and maintenance provided with mean at 2.761. 27.5% of the residents feel dissatisfied with the service provided. Meanwhile, the lowest mean for this section is prompt response to tenant requests with mean 2.467. There are 34.9% feel dissatisfied towards the response with respective requests to management. Overall, in section C, residents feel dissatisfied with mean at 2.567 for maintenance management performance at their respective building. And for the last section, with section D, suggestion of improvement of maintenance management in public housing, the highest mean for suggestion of improvement in section D is time management. Always enforce team to supervise public housing with mean at 4.238. 51.4% of the residents will strongly agree that time management always enforce team to supervise public housing at all times. Meanwhile, the lowest mean in this section is the management always require charge fee to deliver the maintenance properly and diligently with mean 4.100. 46.8% will strongly agree towards this suggestion to impose charge fees in order to deliver the maintenance properly. Overall, residents unanimously agree that improvement should be done in order to gain proper maintenance management. The overall mean for this section is 4.175. In the chapter of conclusion and recommendation, the objective 1 is to identify the maintenance issues faced by the residents in PPR building is fulfilled, that the referring of aim to identify the maintenance issues faced by residents in PPR building. It is clearly analyzed on the issues related to maintenance which faced by residents PPR building. As stated, all the issues aroused are in critical state as the management do not take appropriate action to overcome the issues. Based on the findings stated, it enables the researcher to fulfill the stated objective, which is identifying the maintenance issues faced by the resident in PPR building. Meanwhile, Objective 2 is to determine the residents' satisfaction towards the maintenance management in low-cost public housing is by referring to the finding reported. It can be seen that the residents in PPR building do not satisfied with the maintenance management. It happened as the maintenance management do not take appropriate action in overcoming the issues related maintenance in low-cost public housing. As the result, the researcher could fulfill the objective as the satisfaction among the residents towards the maintenance management is determined. And the last objective is to recommend improvement for the maintenance management of low-cost public housing. The researcher aims to recommend improvement for the maintenance management of low-cost public housing. As the result, the objective stated achieved as it can be implemented to overcome the issues related to maintenance management of the low-cost public housing. For future research, there are several recommendations could be conducted as follows. The first one is to increase the numbers of samples. The larger the sample size, the more the reliability of the data collected from the questionnaire. Secondly, give more time for the researcher to complete their research. During conducting the researcher is stressed due to the short time frame. The researcher tend to make blunders that he or she is unaware of. Extending the term to meet the demands of future researchers make it easier for researchers to obtain data for pilot testing by modifying the questionnaire. Next, make comparison between the demographic profile of the respondent towards the residents' satisfaction on maintenance management of low-cost public housing. Fourth, varies method of the research by adopting qualitative research methods such as interview, direct survey, as well as observation. It could generate accurate and specific outcome from the respondent via interview sessions. With this method, it could provide the opportunity for the respondents to give response out of the questionnaire items. Adopting quantitative research inhibits the respondent to provide their opinion. In order to enhance the residents' satisfaction on maintenance management, there are several recommendations which might be useful. That the first one is to create the channel for complaint to make sure the top management could access for the complaint and take fast action to overcome the issues. Secondly, encourage for the collaboration between maintenance management and residents so that they could cooperate in solving the issue and ensure good satisfaction among residents toward maintenance management. And lastly, the suggestion would be to organize for open day by inviting all the residents and maintenance management to discuss on the issues related to maintenance management. And with that, I thank you.